Some people have shop dogs or shop cats. I have a shop rabbit. Well, that's only partially true. I could never leave him unattended in a shop environment. He would eat through any power lines. In this episode, we're going to be doing a minor brake upgrade to this 73914, and then we're going to start on the bodywork in full force. If you haven't done so already, please consider giving us a like and subscribe. And as always, interested in your comments in the comment section. We're going to be installing some air deflectors for better cooling for the front brakes. So many decals. And if you thought you wouldn't get your hands dirty doing this, you were wrong. Okay, so now it's just a simple matter of attaching this thing and more or less getting it sort of tight enough to put it into position, and then we'll make final adjustments and then we'll tighten it up. But wouldn't you know, I installed it upside down. Got the shield right there. So is that really going to do a lot of good? Alright, so what I've done here to deal with this brake shield problem is I've just simply bent it up, and when the car is running straight, then you'll get air onto this disc like that. And to do that, I was concerned when I first bent it that I was going to cause this metal to tear into this, and so that's why I've jacked it up. And then I took another precaution, which is I folded this metal twice. So you can tell there. Where is that? But you can probably see right about so is where I bent it again, so I do not tear my new ball joints there. And so like I say, this is not the ideal solution. Probably this should be taken off and then cut that out. So, but that's how it is set up right now, and we should be able to get some air movement into that area like it is there. So this was a minor brake cooling upgrade that you can do using brake air deflectors from a 993. If you don't want to do that, a lot of people have just made their own and fasten them on with zip ties. I know what you're asking is, how do they look from the front of the car? Well, you can hardly tell that they're there, but they do stick down a little bit and probably reduce your ground clearance in some instances. And now we have to start on dreaded body work after a little break. There's a little 8mm nut under here that holds the sail trim on. It's always covered with some sort of crud. For whatever reason, these license plate lights are always cracked or broken. And here's our final bolt in our nicely painted blue trunk. See my other videos for that. And here we come. Just pull the whole thing off and lay it down there. So there we go. And we can have a look at the back here. Looks in pretty good shape. Nothing really to complain about. Got an odd screw here. That was when they put in the trunk plate there. Probably a pilot screw before they welded it. Good deal. So some of the things that we're finding as we're sanding, obviously we can see here, looking at this fender, there was the original metal. That is the primer from the Porsche for the replacement fender. And then this is the color that it was painted. And that's probably the clear that went over it. And then at some point it was painted again. You see this primer here. And then we see another coat of blue right there. So a little bit of history there on this car.
Whatever you do, don't lose these screws. They're a special size. These have glue on the back, and they also have a little dent in them. That dent helps to keep the rubber from sliding down. You have to remove the dent and then put the rubber in and then put the dent back in.
So now I'm going to pull this vinyl off, but before I do, I'd like to draw attention to that. Usually you can tell if you got rust here, if you feel like little bumps. And we see a little bump. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a little bump right there. So let's see what's under here. Yep. And there we go. So we certainly have a little bit of rust there. It's not too bad, but definitely want to take care of that before we do new vinyl on. And we've got another spot that we couldn't really feel or see. Okay, so we still have a few pieces of trim to remove, but I think for right now I'm going to do a little bit of start on the body work. And so I've got some 40 grit paper on a pad. I've got some for the hand, and I've got just a hammer and dollies. And what I'm going to be doing, we have over here a pretty large section that is just needs to be gone over completely with the dolly, pounded out. You'll see certain areas that are just like high, like that area is real high right there, and so I guess their solution was just to build up everywhere, the whole thing. But we're gonna knock all this down. We're gonna try to make it look where we don't need a whole lot of filler on it. So that's what I'm gonna get started on with that, with the dolly and the hammer, and at the same time start applying a little filler on these spots where we need to. And just because it's an iterative process, I can take that door panel off, at any time. But these things, they kind of need to get going because they're iterative. They involve sanding and resanding and reapplying. And so it's best just to start getting on it, really.
And we are going to get on it, but not in this episode. You have to come back for the next episode, and we'll continue on with this project. Until next time, tschüss!